Yo, peace to the family, peace to the family. I know you guys must have been PRSSS. That show got finished like on a mad thing. Listen, that was something special, right? I can't even lie in front to say I knew what was going on. Like I'm dead good in like how can I put it? I'm in sleep mode. I'm there snoring. I'm waking up with like
Yo, Kel, the show
drool
is
next
gone,
to me,
man.
all sorts, yeah.
Off air.
But I know that show was a mad thing. So, family, if you guys are here with me right now, right, you like the show to continue a little bit longer, right? I don't know how long I can actually stay up with you guys for, right? Because the laptop literally just shut down. So if you guys really wanted to just continue the show for a little bit longer, I'm gonna drop you guys the link, and you lot do your thing. You lot do your thing. We got Gabs up in the building, yeah. You lot do your thing, but I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to
Yo,
sleep.
Kalam,
Yeah, what's
you
good?
already off air, man. You already off air.
Huh?
You already off air, man.
I know this is a live stream now. This just started.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man.
this is the new live stream. I don't know
Uh,
how long it's gonna be on for, like, so don't get it twisted. But yeah, that's the new live stream. Um, is it off air? Is it off air? Right? It is
it's
off
off
air.
air, man.
Yeah, it's off
Yeah,
air. So like,
yeah.
this is the new thing. If you don't want to jump in, that's it. And do what you lot gotta do. But I'm trying to sleep.
Mm.
My screen says it's live, bro.
All right.
Is it?
Yeah, it
Oh,
says live in the top left corner.
it says live, yeah, but there's no stream.
Um. Okay. So this is there's a new live stream link, which is this one I'm doing right now. But as far as I know, the last one went off air, didn't it?
Yeah, just went off a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want to jump on to the new thing, this is the new thing. But I don't know. Can you give me a breakdown of what was happening?
What's happening?
Yeah, what was happening on the last show?
Yeah, they were talking about. You mean what they were talking about amongst each other?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about. I do probably directing the same thing like we used to be. Now they were talking about Egypt used to be a swamp, and that's what that's the last thing I heard.
Nah, basically, they were talking about I think his brother Ricky was talking about um Sudan and Kemet being Egypt being basically the highest point of the whole Kemet civilization and talking about
Civilization, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
why they
they
built the
also talking
Bah,
about the change of the landscape.
yeah. And then one of the brothers was saying one of the brothers, I think he was a Muslim brother, was saying that it's one of the prophecies in the Quran was talking about Egypt, and he was basically saying that Egypt is America is basically the modern day Egypt, and Egypt is
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Egypt, Egypt where we had slavery and stuff like that, and then America did the whole slavery thing, and then came in Egypt they got the Eye of Horus, and America
Oh.
the all-seeing eye, no Quran that they talk about the eye with the Dajjal. You were trying to basically make links with basically with evil and Kemet, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they also were talking about the elites, and they were talking about the what was it, the Illuminati. Actually, that's what we're going forward to, like the man in power, world powers at that time, and indeed, Will Gaps was saying that now America's like the yeah, it's like the new kind of Egypt. That's why they have the sign on the dollar bill and all that.
Snap, snap, snap. Again, I'm gonna have to send my deepest apologies. Yeah, I was good. I was in dreamland. The sleep was so sweet. You wouldn't
It's okay to
imagine
be
how.
there, isn't it? It's okay to
Huh?
be
Say again?
it's okay to be there, isn't it?
Yeah, no, the sleep was sweet. Yeah, all I saw, the laptop was turning off, and I was like, no, 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 no. Let me just quickly like save it. It wasn't working. The laptop was just freezing. I tried to just jump back on the Hangouts because After it falls out, it's 5 minutes. Once that 5 minutes elapsed, the show is cut off. And I was like, nah, it sounded interesting. I heard something to do with Egypt. I heard something to do with, the pyramid and the Ethiopian pyramid, the eye, and up is south is north, and north is south, and east is west. This is getting mad, brother. It sounded like it was just getting like ridiculously interesting. So I apologize, family, that I wasn't able to wake up. I was there with Kim Kardashian. I was there. It was me, Kanye, Beyonce. Listen, we was having a hell of a time, man. So again, apologies, man. Apologies. Absolutely.
Oh wow. You needed that wake up call though.
Just listen. Oh man. So yeah, I don't even know. Like, do you not want to continue the show? Should we get the other members in here? You let me know what you guys want to do, man. But
Yeah, why not? Bring Rich Kid in there, bring Ricky in there, bring all them in. Why not?
Where they at? Where they at? Respect was in there as well, still.
Yeah. Let me get it. Okay. Show is off.
I hope Mo Abe is able to join as well.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see if we can revive it and get everybody back in, man. Jeez, this will be like literally the fourth show, the fourth show today.
Brother, right, the whole day. It's like I've seen so much notifications at the top saying Times is live. I'm like, huh? Did he just fit? I was confused.
Mate. We've been doing like some next type of marathon, man. Trust me. Actually, not. We said we went for round one. You know, them ways there. Like when people thought, yeah, that was it. Said, nah, V, man's got backups. I just had my Baba Roots. Get me? Round number 2, just beat out real quickly, yeah? What? You thought that was it? Nah, B. You know about what you know about Viagra? I got a third round in me, baby. A third round in me. That third round, yeah, I was sleeping before I could even finish it. You know? And sometimes they just got to slap you to wake you up. I got slapped up, woken up. Now this is round 4. Let's get it.
Let's go. You just came in. Nah, everyone's coming in tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. New people, man.
What's good? We got Dante up in the building. What's good, King? I hope it's not Dante's Inferno. But what's good, Jonas?
Mute. Yeah.
Go on,
Mute. Speak up, man.
Okay. All right, Eunice, what's good?
All right, Rich is in the building.
With the saber himself, we've got Rich Kid up in the building.
Yeah.
Kabbalah King. Yeah, I already know he's gonna get. Anytime I see like Rich Kid in the videos, yeah, like I get excited. I already know it's gonna be something different. Anyways, there. It's like him and Asar, yeah. Like when you see Asar, the other brother from America, like passing through you, you're like, get it. You said, man, talk to us, man. Talk to us. Let's bring the conversation back alive.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dante's mic or Eunice's mic, they're not working, man. When they unmute, they cannot hear sound.
Yeah, no, the gins are out, man. The gins are out. Gins are out, man. Let's get it. Come on, fam.
Right. Okay, man. When we start, man, I'm the one only talking on that. So I think, hey, Gabs, man, how you doing? I think it was interesting, man. The last thing what we were talking about. So your background is that your father was a pastor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what kind of religion, can I ask? What he was? What you were?
He's a Christian. Pentecostal.
Pentecostal.
Yeah.
All right. So y'all also grew up like speaking in tongues and all that.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Nah. I didn't grow up speaking in no tongues. No.
But that's what they teach in the Pentecostal church, right?
Yeah, they teach that, but I didn't grab the lingo.
All right. I see that. Well, that you get at a certain moment disappointed, and what you learned growing up, or
Was who disappointed? Say that again.
yeah, were you getting disappointed in what you learned through the years, Bobby? I mean, you're from a Pentecostal household, right?
Now, do you know I wasn't even getting disappointed. I just had loads of questions.
But they could not answer you.
No.
Oh, oh, that's it. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, Gaps, I think what you said about Satan, did he lie? I think it was an interesting question.
Yeah.
Uh, it was a very tricky one because to me, I still, I believe that, yeah, the devil is the trick master, the number one. So you can make it. I think the only answer I could give you is that he spoke a half truth in that sense. That yeah, they were at the moment they were as God. So that's right.
Do you
But
know?
it's like I've also read in Genesis 2 that God said that they will surely die, but he did not give the time, which the devil in Genesis 3 said at the very day, right? That's what he add on it himself. And he was true at the moment when he
Yeah.
said that he didn't instantly die, but God never said they instantly died, but it's like more after a while. I know that you said it couldn't be proven that they gradually died like over 1,000 years, but that's like a belief, right? Also, to have patience to look at a certain moment. Can we get the evidence of maybe bones being digged up or some evidence that makes sense, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
do you know what the funny thing about it is?
Mhm.
When you actually read that verse in Genesis, and this is the next point I was even going to bring up to you, was even the only person that actually gets cursed with death, yeah, uh,
Mhm.
is they're going to return to the dust is who? Who did God say that to dust you came, to dust you'll return?
Was it Adam?
Yeah,
Or
it was Adam. So,
yeah,
and
right.
this was what God was saying directly to Adam. So he
Uh,
said that Adam will return to the dust, yeah. But what
yeah.
did he say about Eve?
Yeah, Eve. What I've learned is that because he said it to Adam, and it's like by one man, the sin of man came to be because Adam was the one who's responsible, the most responsible one. Like he was the man that should take the lead in the situation. That's why it wasn't Eve's fault actually, but still they both dragged into this sin because they were both, they were a couple. But I think I have to say it like that,
Yeah, but
and mhm.
basically what I'm trying to show you is that, but the only person that actually died and returned to
Mhm.
it was Adam. So, but nothing happened to Eve. So, are we saying that Eve is still alive?
Yeah, I think if very literally she actually supposed to be still alive, but that's not the case because I think that the same thing happened to Eve, but it's like Eve is also mentioned under Adam because Adam is the one responsible, but Eve is still having the same fate because she also knew about these restrictions because the devil asked Eve, uh, did you not know that that when he told her that she could eat from the fruit, she already responded the first thing that she could not eat from the fruit, so she knew about the instructions, so she knew that she was probably part of the responsibility. And still though, even that she knew, still Adam was holding account for it. You know, he actually blamed God that he said that yeah, the woman you gave me make me eat from this fruit. And God's like, how? Stop for a minute. You should tell Eve what you doing was wrong actually, but you didn't. You gave in to that. But actually, that's actually dragged her into the sin as well. So they both died. That's what I believe.
Okay. The reason why it's mad though is because when you look at the Bible though, when you go for what the Bible says,
Mm.
it actually just says that Adam, the man Adam, is the only one that was going to return to the dust because God gave them their punishment in stages. So he spoke to Eve first, went down, gave her list of punishment, childbearing, and all this stuff. Then went on to
Mm.
the serpent, gave him his punishment, which was going to be to remove his legs and eat dust for the rest of the remaining of their days. Yeah, and
Oh,
enmity.
you're talking about the dragon, right?
Yeah, and then when it came
Yeah.
to Adam, his punishment was, to till the ground, work, and da 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 da. And
Mhm.
also, God said to him, part of his punishment was that he was going to return to the dust. But that was only for Adam. So that's what I'm trying to say. What happened to Eve then? Because if, Ad,
Yeah, yeah.
if Adam's the only one that's going to be returning to the dust,
Mm.
then then he's the only one that's supposed to die. Because remember, Eve
Mm.
from the rib of Adam, she wasn't made from dust.
Yeah, she was made of the rib. That's what you want to say, right?
Yeah.
Not
So
from the dust, but from the rib, right?
I was wondering
Yeah.
if I could ask a quick question.
Oh, Rich, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes.
I showed this before. This is Hesperides in the gardens. Here is the
Mhm.
apples are on the tree, and the dragon
Mhm.
laid on looks more like a single-headed serpent. Can you see that? Can you see the
Yeah,
serpent on the tree? Now,
yeah.
this is a Greek myth because these were the daughters of Atlas. So when you talk about the Bible story, and I show you this story, is this
Mm.
story real as your Bible story?
Yeah, because they actually look the same. She makes a movement towards the snake that, like, if the Bible account you put next to it, you could see similarities. That's like the snake told this woman because she's, making that move towards this tree, right?
That's correct. So
Mhm.
that means this story here, would the Bible be a copy of this story, or this story copied the Bible?
Yeah, well, you're probably gonna trick me somewhere, but I would say that
I'm not
this.
looking to injure you in the argument. You should know that, right? I'm just
I would
seeking the
probably,
truth.
yeah, it's okay. I would probably say this story is copied from the Bible.
You'll say this story here is copied from the Bible, correct?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Do you have any evidence of that?
Uh,
Any sources you can cite for me to look at?
oh man, I have to prepare for that one. I
Okay, but
would.
I'm gonna hold you to it, though, right? Because
Uh-huh.
that's a claim you're making, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's more like I firmly believe that. I'm not really believing so much that the Bible is very corrupted, but I get your point. It's very debatable. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's look at the facts. The
Mhm.
book of Genesis, when was it written?
When was it written? Um, I think it was written by Moses.
Yeah,
I don't know
in what day? It was
what
written by
day,
Moses, so that would be what time?
like ancient Egypt times, right? Or quite after the. I would say like approximately 3,500 years. Am I wrong somewhere, or 3,000 years back, or
So
maybe more?
that's about 900 BCE.
No, no. Oh, I mean 3,000 BC.
So you're saying Moses was around that 3000 BC?
I'm just guessing, man. That's always a wrong thing to do. I cannot say for sure.
And that's why I showed you this information, because we can either speak about guessworks or facts. Adam and Eve's
Yeah.
story in the Bible, it's a myth tale. It's not real. It's a myth tale. And if you can show me evidence of Moses actually writing the Torah, then fine, show it to me. But when you start saying you believe these things, then you
Uh,
might as well just say it's your opinion. It's not based on facts. Do you understand?
yeah, yeah. But I'm not saying that. I know what you're saying, but it's not like I'm saying I have nothing to bring against it. It's like not at the moment. I will have to make time to get to the sources. So at this moment, I will only could say that it's about what I believe that is true, but it will take some time. No,
Agreed, agreed.
I will come look it up right now. Maybe I will do that in
No,
the
you don't have
meanwhile.
to. You don't have to, but
Mm.
agreed.
All right. You can talk amongst each other in the meanwhile.
Yeah, Gabs, you can continue for that. I don't know if Gabs is still there. or 9 ether. I know 9 ether might say something.
Yeah, I'm there. Anyone could chime in. Who else is in there?
Yeah, I was saying if you wanted to continue with your story, Gab, from Genesis.
Okay, yeah. I was just mentioning that bit to do with Eve because he doesn't have no mention of what happened to her. I was just showing the brother that the curse of returning to the dust was for the man Adam and Eve.
Bless up, family. Good night, still. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Yeah, night, ether, night.
Manners.
Hello.
So what's the what have I missed, man? Because obviously I'm hearing some female talk and a lot of testosterone on the panel. So I thought I'd try and get a look in. So what's the talk, man?
Yeah, I think the other panel left with that crazy female talk, but I'm not too sure you're gonna get that.
I really one of them Americans still. Can't lie. He woke me up, man. But that other guy with the black and white picture, yeah, he was interesting, man. I like that. He seemed quite emancipated, so that was a good look.
Yeah. So he was saying some things that were correct, but once he started going off on the flat Earth, I just locked him.
Did you lock off? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, look. Obviously, I don't want to get into a flat Earth thing. However, one thing I do question, is the the water, you know. Now I know people say gravity, but I'm not gonna lie. My 9 ether being can't get my head around that. Do you understand? So can you make it any clearer? How come every time I talk, it seems like I get bad crickets?
No, you know what? I just didn't want to jump in. Gabs, you wanna take that?
No, seriously. Let me. Okay, so it's only that kind of recently, that I've obviously looked into it and so forth and so on. And one of the things that certainly did, although I must admit, though, even from my youth, I did used to question certainly what I used to question as a youth, is this whole the Earth spinning at whatever miles an hour, and question, as an innocent child, so and why the cars and everything was able to stay stable and that type of thing. Do you understand? When I was getting my head around certain things. But coming to now, one of the things that does kind of jar me is this whole, my thing is, how does the water, on a global model, how does it hold up? Do you understand? The seas or the oceans or whatever you want to call it. Now, obviously, when I've asked that question before, I've been told, given that word gravity. But I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I need a bit more than that, because I just don't think whatever the strength of that gravitational force is just not going to be able to hold all that body of water. And plus, that water flows to a certain level, this, that, and the other. And even if I, do something really rudimental, like get a tennis ball and you run water over it, whatever, it kind of cascades down. So, that's just one of my questions still. So, what's the panel think?
You know what? Do you know what I was gonna say? Sorry, do you know what I was gonna say? You see, like topics like this about the flat Earth and if the Earth is flat and stuff. Yeah, me personally, I from my opinion, I don't really see what really the interest and the point is really, because it's like none of us are actually gonna go out there, into space and actually look and verify. And if we do verify, then what? It's like, what do we do next? So if the Earth is flat or the Earth is round, now what do we do? Like, if there is gravity or there's not gravity, like we know that we're here. So what do we do? Like, if we find out that the Earth is flat and goes some miles, now what are we? Are we? It's not like we're going to be allowed to go and travel and find out what else is there. Is it just going to be just for our knowledge, like we know? Is it because we just want to know?
Me, it's exactly that, Gabs, because I'm a great believer in the truth shall set you free, And I know that you come from that school still, because I listen to you, and I know that you've obviously broken through certain doors in terms of your knowledge. You understand me? And what was told to you to be truth. to even say what you say today. You understand?
Yeah, I tell you what it is, yeah. But you see, like stuff like that, yeah. We know, especially pertaining to things that like where we can't actually physically go out and check and verify for ourselves. Stuff like that, if the Earth being flat and stuff, and if the the powers that be are keeping these secrets, we know there's going to be certain things that we're just not going to know, bro. There's certain things we're just not going to know. It's just we're just going to die not knowing these things. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to come out and just randomly just say, "Oh yeah, guys, by the way, here's a real video of what the Earth actually looks like." And look, all these years, look here are the extraterrestrials that we've been hiding from you and all this stuff. It's just
Oh,
there's certain things they're not just gonna certain things they're not gonna tell us.
so do you believe in extraterrestrials, Gabs?
Do I believe in extraterrestrials?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't believe. I don't really believe in. I don't believe there's extraterrestrials. My opinion is I think there's extraterrestrials.
Okay, all right, all right. I heard the two different words. All right, all right. Fair enough, brother.
Yeah.
But I mean, could that potentially be part of the whole thing? Because if it were proven that it's not that global model, because remember, many a thing has been built on that, right?
Yeah.
Many of that, much of our reality has been built on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even and listen, I'm not standing or sitting here saying, you understand me, I'm a dead on it 100, but I'm just saying certainly certain things I definitely find intriguing. And certainly from the biblical kind of vibration, yeah, when I was coming up, I was always, that whole firmament thing, yeah?
Yeah.
The earth being under a firmament, which basically does chime in with a flat earth type of model, as opposed to a space one or a global one, isn't it? Because in the global one, it's basically us, and then after us, it's just an infinity of nothing, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the what they call, with the planets around us or whatever. But that's what I'm saying to you. I mean, so for me, what it's about is that if that's not true, then fuck me, man. What else have you lied about in it? But I hear what you're saying. What can you do? But like I said, I'm a great believer in the truth will set you free, and also it may also be a way to open certain people's chakras. You understand? Or you're not even chakras, but third eye, because I'm sure you'd believe many of us, we're so confined to certain beliefs that's been, you understand, passed down, that many of us don't even question. When it's even looking us in our face and giving us boxes and uppercuts, we're like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah.
I think
You understand?
I tell you the reason why, the flat earth thing kind of, I don't know. I just go on basically what I see. So for instance, when I look up into space now, yeah, and I look up into the sky, I see, we see stars, we see the sun, we see the moon, we see that they're circular. Now, with this whole flat earth thing, it's because there's loads of different things that I've heard. I've heard some people saying that, the earth is flat and it just stretches out from like beyond, like the stretch, there's no end. It just keeps on going.
Nah, I don't believe that to be the. No, I definitely don't believe that to be the case. No.
What they're saying that it's like a disc, like a CD.
Who, me? I mean, if I were to appreciate the flat Earth type of vibration, I would be going along the like the snow globe kind of vibe, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it's basically like a disc. So the Earth.
No, because to me a disc is flat.
Yeah, well, that's what it's like. But see, like a snow globe, think about it, if you take away the glass and you just have just the Earth, the land, it's just basically like a circle, in it, like a plate.
Well, then my thought on it would be like the whole shape of a snow globe. Then you know what I mean,
including the glass you're talking about.
Yeah, because if for me to because in my appreciation of that, the top of the glass is the firmament.
But then you have the side of the glass as well, innit? No, because obviously if it goes round, if the dome covers it, it's like it goes around. You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I hear you, and again, like in that I would be thinking of the not the ice caps and that, but we know that there's something that surrounds the Earth in it.
Okay.
Understand? or to what, or at least to what we know, or to what we've been told, or to what has been explored in it. Because much of our knowledge is really based on someone else telling us, "I saw the thing go."
So one thing I would say, so you see this dome, this glass dome that they speak of, yeah. How far up are they saying this goes to? Like, does it go? Does it go past our atmosphere? Does it go? How far up are they saying this glass dome is?
All right. So listen, I ain't no expert. I'm not no expert, yeah. So I can't go under questioning, yeah. I'm just asking a couple questions, yeah. But I don't know. Is basically the answer to that, yeah.
The reason why I asked that, yeah, because we know like bodies like the moon, even our Earth as well, yeah, has been struck by loads of asteroids and meteors that are flying around all the time in space. You know, we always get near misses when, you know, asteroids and meteors just go past the Earth, or some of them hit the moon. That's why you see the big craters and stuff like that. Some of them hit our planet. So I'm trying to understand if there's meteors that are flying around outside of space, you know, and these are broken up from other I don't know, other exploding planets or exploding suns and dust particles and stuff that's out there. I'm trying to understand if there's a glass dome, why hasn't wouldn't these meteors like smash through this glass and stuff like that? How or are we saying it's all in the glass and they're just buzzing around in the glass, they can't come out? Like how I'm just trying, that's the one thing that I question with it. If they're saying that there's this dome, I just want to know how are meteors and asteroids coming and hitting the planet and hitting Mars and stuff like not Mars, the moon and stuff like that. Where they come.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, I hear you, man. Because all right then. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
what
park
about
that to the side for one sec, yeah. Right, and come back to the everyday stories that we talk about in terms of the beginning of how the thing started, yeah.
Yeah.
So, do we believe, yeah, that so that's okay. Let me ask that question then. Do we believe that we are the only ones in this whole galaxy or Milky Way or whatever words you want to use to describe the rest of the expanse, etc., etc.? So do you believe that it's just us here as humans on types of humans? Because
I don't think so.
can't vouch for everyone.
Me personally, I don't think so.
Okay then. Okay then. Okay.
uh,
Okay then. Okay then. Okay then.
The
I
reason
think
why, go on, Killer.
undefinable to know if there's other species somewhere. Because I don't know. I've heard people saying they've had contact with aliens, but it's like I've never met them, so it's
Kelly,
you have to believe it. It's also a belief, right? It's like a kind of religion as well.
but Kalem, you know what? You know what? That's funny though, because like you're saying, from a religious point of view, yeah, you would have to say that you believe in extraterrestrials or beings from out of our solar system, because you know
Mm.
we have a God that's out there. You have angels
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
that's out there. You know, in the I think in the Quran it makes mention of, you know, Allah can bring all the creatures in all the different planets and stuff into one point. That's basically
Mm.
showing his power, that he can bring every living creature throughout space and the universe to one point if he desired to. So, you know, we know that obviously coming from a religious text, you know, there's mention of other living things being out in space. Do you see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
coming into the earth, even like in Genesis, what we've been talking about, the sons of God coming down onto the
yeah.
door.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's actually that was my viewpoint as well. That God actually, because he's not earthly in that sense, could be considered an alien. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
extraterrestrial outside the earth. Yeah, extraterrestrial only means outside of Earth's atmosphere and stuff, on the
Hmm,
outside. Yeah, you
true.
would say. And then obviously dealing with, obviously, if you take away the religious set, when you deal with some of the ancient people like on the planet, whether it be ancient India, China, the
Mm.
Americas, Sumeria, Egypt, West Africa, they all make mention of ancestors coming from outside of space down to Earth. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
They all follow it
Mm.
wherever they are. Their stories might be different on what they came on and what their objective was, but they all mention of some sort of ancestors or family or people that's come down from outer space onto the Earth. So you
But
have the
isn't that also referring to? I don't know if that this was conspiracy. I don't mind if other people could say different. It's like I like to hear it from the first story that's telling me somebody like the Anunnaki and all that, the Anki story, and you
yeah
heard of it, right?
yeah I heard of that. Yeah, that's coming from Sumeria,
Yeah.
Sumeria, in that area. Yeah,
So how credible are they to you?
how credible is that to me? I'll say
Yeah.
it's basically in the same bracket as all the other.
Very credible considering they're thousands of years before all the other stuff that come, and they're
Yeah,
based on the same type of vibration. Sorry, Gabs.
that's fine. Yeah. I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say. That's it. I was basically gonna say it's as credible as any other civilization or culture that makes
Mm.
mention of beings coming down. So you know, can we
I
say that?
mean, wasn't it after raping and pillaging and thieving that some of these books came down?
Yeah, and
Okay, then.
Interesting. Yeah, I see similarities in there, to be honest. But
similarities between what the Sumerian, Anunnaki, and what?
yeah, like these stories and like the example, the stories of fallen angels. In that sense, they were like close to the, when they were cast out of heaven, that they were cast out close to the direction of the earth, and they still were having influence over the people.
Hmm.
That's what the link I made instantly, actually, but it's from a religious standpoint, of course.
Yo, have you lot ever heard the statement that the Chinese are terrible inventors but brilliant innovators?
Nah, I've never heard of that.
That's that's interesting.
All right,
No,
well,
tell us, 90.
no, I'm just gonna leave that statement, man. And obviously, we're on Kalam's channel, so we obviously have to apply critical thinking. You understand?
Mhm.
But
Mm.
like I said,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Chinese are they're not good inventors, yeah, but they're very, you understand? But they're great innovators. Yeah,
Mm.
they innovate upon invention.
Always like I see. Yeah.
Okay. Mm.
I'm not gonna do a mic drop or nothing. You get me? But I'll let that so.
Okay. Let,
But I'm being for real, for real, for real though. I'm being dead straight.
mm.
Yeah. Well, something else about the according to the flat Earth. Somebody told me also that also mean an egg shape, an, an oval object, right? Is also a flat Earth according to you?
Who's that
You
to? Is
know
that
what?
Nanifa?
I'm sorry.
Is that a question for me or Nanifa?
Yeah, just in general, I think.
Oh, sorry. Say that again, Bob. It faded out for me. Sorry, Bob. Say that again. Sorry.
Yeah, the is it also acceptable for flat earthers to believe that an egg shape or an oval object is also acceptable to be a flat Earth? That the Earth is like a egg shape, basically, or like a oval shape because it's not round. It's like flattened.
I mean, I guess from my perspective, potentially. I mean, because I mean, oh, I mean, just through your natural senses, yeah. And I'm at what's the time? All right, it's after hours, so the freaks come out at night. But just through our natural senses, yeah, do we get the vibration, yeah, that we're spinning through space and all that type of thing? And do do you get that feeling, or is that a silly question to ask? Or
No, it's not a silly question. I just I laugh because if I just have to reason answer this question, I can go date back when I was young. and I just only could consider, oh, it's day now, oh, it's night. It's like it's like, it's a different like a different wallpaper when you wake up, but when you grow up and you start learning stuff, it's like, oh, it's because that the earth is spinning. And uh and then you also related about other theories that people used to believe that the sun was spinning around the earth, but the correct way is that the earth and the other planets are spinning around the sun, and that is the reason why it's becoming day and night, and just some stuff that made sense to me. So is that coming closer a little bit to what you also consider that to be to reason about or consider useful?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, obviously, like everyone else, I know what I've been taught. You understand? And obviously, the global model was in our classroom from way, way, way. So, we can't deny that we've been programmed to think that way. And then obviously, throughout the time, we're going to have different theories that come and try and, do you know what I mean? Underpin that kind of knowledge or that fact. Although I can definitely remember when early school days, obviously learning that they previously thought that the earth was flat, yeah, but then they added that they thought they could fall off the earth, yeah. So
Mm.
sometimes you have to add something so really stupid to negate the whole point, if you understand the point I'm making, because really on a flat earth model that's not necessarily the case, is it, where you can actually fall off, because what they're saying
Mm.
is that it's actually surrounded, isn't it, yeah.
Mm.
But what they were trying to, in them days, they were trying to say that it's flat, whereby it's just got no boundary. You understand? Like an infinity pool or something where you just go boof. But I'm saying in today's flat earth theory, I don't think that necessarily equates to the same thing. Does that make
It's a
sense?
hard, yeah.
But
Mm.
I don't know. But one thing I'll definitely say is that my senses, yeah, for what, you know what I mean? And we don't really use them anymore, and they're not really rated anymore. But my senses doesn't really match a global model. I must admit that.
Okay. I hear that. I hear that. Oh, Rich, are you back? Can you mute your mic? Sorry, I just wanted to show him something.
Yeah,
Rich,
I'm
you
here,
there?
but yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So, yeah, I just wanted to read what I just found. It's like, uh, I just shall I share screen it so you can read
Yeah,
that
sure.
along?
Yeah, sure.
Wait 1 second. Am I? Oh, you left. Just I'm gonna pop this up anyway. Can anybody see my screen clearly? Oh, okay. I don't think.
Your
I
screen
think I
share.
will do it.
Your screen sharing.
Yeah, I'm doing that. But Rich just left the panel, so uh, okay. I just so if Rich will come back, then he can read this. Yeah, could you also read along, or do I have to zoom in a little bit?
Let me see. No, I can read.
Okay. So you can see that Genesis book, the
Yeah,
first book of the Pentateuch,
yeah.
Greek of the five rules or fivefold volume. Genesis meaning origin, birth, is the name given to the first of these books by the Greek Septuagint, whereas its Hebrew title, Bereshith, in the beginning, is taken from the first word in its opening sentence. Okay, when and where written? The book of Genesis was evidently part of the one original writing, the Torah, and was possibly completed by Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the year 1513 BCE, after Genesis 1 verse 1 and 2, relating to the creation of the heavens and the earth. The book evidently covers a span of thousands of years involved in the preparation of the earth for human habitation, see creation. Therefore covers the period from okay, so and so on. But here it says that yeah, completely completed by Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, the year 1513 BCE. So, oh, Rich, did you saw this? Have you
Yeah,
read
I
it?
fell out for a bit, but I think I just kind of got the gist of what you were saying. You're saying that
Uh,
the
shall I repeat it? Shall I repeat it for you, brother? Again, what's happening, man? You probably have a bad connection. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, Gaps, if I have to address your point, then you're saying that Eve, right? That she has to be alive, then, right? Just right? Okay.
According to the Bible.
But yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Now, just saying, obviously in the Bible, from what I read, yeah, it looks like she should still be alive.
Yeah. I understand that, but the understanding I got is that it's been called Adam. It has actually to do with the responsibility, according to the Bible narrative, that is that the man is the leading person in the like in the family, the one who's supposed to take the responsibility of his family, that's which he didn't take in that sense to actually protect. And that's why he actually is the responsible one. That also Eve lost her um, yeah, everlasting life because of him. That's why it's been said that because of one man, sin came through all mankind. It's because of Adam,
Okay.
and that's why we all die. That's the reason.
Okay.
Does that make logical sense to you? I know scripturally it's written and whatever, but does
Mm.
that make logical sense to you?
Yeah, that's a valid question. 99. It's like at a certain moment, you always have to go back to reason about this if it makes logical sense. And from some other moments, it's like you just accept it for what it is written for because you believe it's the truth. But it's never wrong to reconsider that what you've read is it what you just read, and that's I do agree. And there's a lot of stuff I have to do, do some studies about what my opinion personally is about this, and it's a lot of stuff, man. To be honest.
Because logically, yeah,
Mhm.
logically, it makes no sense that a woman comes from a man, does it? One time, yeah.
It's hard to believe. Yeah,
This
yeah, yeah.
this one time a woman comes from a man, and then after that till now, it's been the other way around. Don't you find that a bit strange?
Yeah, I see. I totally see your point. Yeah. I totally see your point. That's actually you have to. I'll read you back. I just want to finish 99's point first. Yeah, I totally see that 99. I cannot bring anything in against. It's like this is the creation story I was told.
As was
I
I.
could
Don't
also.
get me wrong. As was I.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah,
I'm not
sorry,
gonna lie.
sorry.
Even as a young girl, I questioned it, man. I
Mm,
questioned it.
Yeah,
yeah,
sorry. I
yeah,
keep getting my. I think my computer's overheating. I keep getting dropped off or something. Did I
It's
miss
that
something?
tap, boy.
Yeah.
yeah.
What happened? What did you say, Kevin? I'm sorry, I missed everything you were saying.
Yeah, I hope you keep bearing with me, but I wanted to repeat. Should I repeat what I just was reading for you? I just
Uh, yeah, sure.
okay. I will share screen it again. One more. Okay, I just gonna quick the straight point be made. So it just said that the book of Genesis was evidently part of one of the original writings of the Torah, and was possibly completed by Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the year 1513 BCE. I think I just stopped there.
Okay, I mean, I think the reason they say possibly is because they don't have the original text, correct?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they write into. It's like making an absolute statement.
Yeah. So, but if they can show me primary sources of Moses's text, then I'll be fine.
Uh, what up? Is maybe this like that they cut it from the Septuagint or something?
That's the Greek
Or
text,
what?
all right?
Sorry.
That's the Greek text, all right? That's what you put up the other day. Remember, me and you was talking offline, and you put
Yeah,
up
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know from you, you don't accept the Septuagint too much, right?
not that I don't accept it. I just look at the stories basically.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. I know that was something you don't really. I don't know what your view is about the Septuagint, but I thought it was not really. You don't trust all of it or something, right?
No, I just think that most of the stories are based on Greek mythology.
Yeah. That okay, okay. That was it. Yeah, okay.
And the evidence that you showed me the other night when you was discussing the Trinity, and it starts saying that they took the Trinity from these Greek texts.
Yeah, I found this information about the church fathers, man.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, wait, okay, okay. Let me. I don't know, man. It's gonna take
Slippery
some
road,
while.
though, Calum.
I'm sorry.
It's a slippery road. Slippery and it's painful, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's
So
definitely.
buckle up, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I'm
But
sorry.
it's true, though, isn't it?
He's probably missing what you're saying, sis, because he's from Holland. He probably don't
Oh,
understand what you're
sorry.
saying.
Oh,
I
sorry.
cannot understand all the things, but trying to follow, man.
She's just saying once you're going down that road, it's a slippery road. So make sure you come with your evidence, basically.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Seriously, yeah. That's you know. Yeah.
No, I mean in terms of once you uncover one lie, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It leads to another lie, then another one, and you're like, oh my giddy uncle, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's how it is, man.
I think one thing we all prove sooner or later will prevail, isn't it?
100%.
That's right. I also believe that. Even though I'm a follower of this particular religion, actually, that's also what I believe. Like I just stand beside. Okay, Rich. There's a lot of information. You like me to read? Is everybody else on the panel agreeing with this? Okay with it?
Well, for me personally, I just don't really see it as a primary source. They're just saying it possibly could have been written. It's not really telling me anything.
No, I'm talking about the church fathers.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Are you okay with it? 90 gaps, all good? They're not saying anything.
Yeah, do you think?
Yeah, yeah, do your thing, man. I'm listening still. So hold on, what exactly are we dealing with here? Sorry.
You
In
know,
fact, just do your thing anyway. Do your thing, darling. Do your thing. Do your thing.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Hello?
Well, basically, hey, Gaps, how you doing? So yeah, we were talking about the church fathers, and actually the credibility of what they taught was actually, what kind of impact it had on Christianity on a later stage. And okay, just let me read this. Okay, the church fathers advocates of Bible truth. Question: whether you profess to be a Christian or not, your perception of God, of the Bible, of Jesus, and of Christianity may well have been influenced by them. One of them was called Golden Mouthed. I'm sorry. Another great Collectively, they have been described as the supreme embodiment of the life of Christ. Who are they? They are the ancient religious thinkers, writers, theologians, and philosophers who have shaped much of today's Christian thinking, the church fathers. The Bible is not the totality of God's word, claims Greek Orthodox professor of religious studies Demetrios J. Konstantinos. The Holy Spirit that reveals the Word of God cannot be confirmed to the pages of a book. What could possibly be another reliable source of divine revelation? Constantinos asserts in his book, Greek Orthodox Church, Holy Tradition and Holy Scriptures are viewed as two sides of the same coin. The core of that holy tradition includes the teachings and writings of the Church Fathers. They were prominent theologians and theologians and Christian philosophers who lived between the 2nd and 5th centuries CE. How much have they influenced modern Christian thought? Did they hold fast to the Bible in their teaching? What should be the solid basis of Christian truth for a follower of Jesus Christ? Historical background. In the middle of the 2nd century CE, professed Christians were defending their faith against Roman persecutors and heretics alike. However, this was an era of too many voices. Religious debates regarding the divinity of Jesus and the nature and workings of the Holy Spirit caused more than just intellectual rifts. Bitter disagreements and irreparable divisions over Christian doctrine spilled over into the political and cultural spheres, at times causing riots, rebellion, civil strife, even war, writes historian Paul Johnson. Apostate Christianity began in confusion, controversy, and schism, and so it continued. The Central and Eastern Mediterranean in the 1st and 2nd centuries AD swamped with an infinite multitude of religious ideas, struggling to propagate themselves. From the start, then, there were numerous varieties of Christianity which had little in common. Um, During that era, writers and thinkers who felt that it was imperative to interpret Christian teachings using philosophical terms began to flourish. To satisfy educated Christians who were new converts to Christianity, such religious writers relied heavily on earlier Greek and Jewish literature, beginning with Justin Martyr, as from c. 100 to 165 CE, who wrote in Greek. Professed Christians became increasingly sophisticated in the assimilation of the philosophical heritage of the Greek culture. This trend came to fruition in the writings of Origen, c. in c. 185 to 254 CE, a Greek author from Alexandria. Origen's treatise on first principles was the first systematic effort to explain the main doctrines of Christian theology in terms of Greek philosophy. The Council of Nicaea in 325 CE, with its attempts to explain and establish the divinity of Christ, was the milestone that gave new impetus to interpretation of Christian dogma. That council marked the beginning of an era during which general church councils sought to define dogma even more precisely. Um, incredible information to you, Rich. You want me to go on, by the way? Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anybody?
What's the point you're making from this?
Yeah,
What are we saying? Another 10 minutes? Another 10 minutes?
Yeah, that's fine, Ken.
Yeah? All right, perfect.
Yeah, no worries.
so shall I read on for another 10 minutes?
What was the point you was making with the church fathers? I got dropped off again.
Okay, I'm sorry. Actually, it actually says that they were pretty much struggling. Actually comes down what Paul actually wrote in the Bible that after him, when he will pass away, these church fathers that had the responsibility to take the lead in the Christian congregation were actually becoming the wolf in sheep clothes, and that's why they actually took side under Constantinople's lead to you know to make total different decision than actually the Bible is actually relying on. But this passage actually showed the beginnings where, as I already started, and those church fathers pretty much started to rely on Greek philosophy and all that, and they actually added this to the religious teachings and made it official, also confirmed uh, by this Roman Emperor Constantine. But they were also like also because Constantine wanted this to be, and they actually gave in to this pressure of Constantine, and that's why they became also a political force. I think that's towards that way. That's why also already distanced themselves by the actual teachings of what the whole Christian um, you know narrative supposed to be for the people, and they actually alienated this message by adding all this stuff to be more mainstream or popular for the people. You know, does that make sense? By the way, what I'm saying.
Sorry, I'm not too sure. Are you saying that the early church fathers, such as Constantine, Clement, Irenaeus, and the likes, are you saying that they were forging the books?
Yeah, that's what they tried to, right? They actually came with new ideas, and what you gave me those examples the day before. I mean the I think it was before those people you showed in your screen saying those church fathers that said that, oh, this book is from the devil and this and that. But those were actually the people that started to implement ideas of Plato into the teaching and actually refuse the actual message of the Bible. Those were the ones that wanted to make name for themselves, became bishops, actually became corrupt, and actually were the ones that worked along with Constantine. And but they also Constantine was the one that brought the pressure on it because he wanted to. He was actually scared that the Christian congregation would influence the Roman Empire too much. That's why he actually wanted to steer this whole situation towards advancement. But does that make sense to you, Rich? Hello.
No, not really.
Okay. I hope to be more specific, but ask me what you want to know.
Because are you basically saying that they corrupt the message of Paul? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry again.
Are you saying that they corrupted the message of Paul?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they. Um, I think it's clear that Paul said what I said was clear, right? That Paul said that after him, the wolves in sheep clothes were going to oppress the congregation, the first Christian congregation. He already foretold it. So, does that make sense in that essence?
No.
Well, I tried to help, but I don't understand what you.
Well, I mean, who's Paul? Who's Paul? Which Paul you're talking about?
Huh?
Which Paul you're talking about? The one that sent letters and
Uh,
stuff?
oh, you want me to bring up a scripture maybe that supports this?
No. Are you saying that they were corrupting Paul's messages, the Christians, the early church fathers? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they corrupted it basically. I'm just actually reacting towards the things you showed me prior to this. About this early church fathers that actually were totally against. Uh, they actually cussed out the Bible, didn't they? They basically did, didn't they? They
No,
said that actually.
you got that mixed up. There was people who was talking about the Old Testament And then I showed you the early church fathers where they had problems with the creation story. So they weren't really cussing out the Bible, they were defending it.
I'm okay. I'm using that. I'm saying cussing, but I mean actually, yeah, heavily critiquing it. Um, but those were the ones that were actually against it.
They
They
weren't
turned.
against it, you know. I think you're missing the point. It's like what Gabs was saying to you earlier when he was saying when God told Adam that he was going to die and God plant the tree, that he was questioning those kind of literal sense. Like he was saying, the story doesn't make sense. And that's why to this day, we're still talking about snakes in the garden, because it doesn't make sense, literally. That's what some of the early church fathers were saying. And they were saying, if you dig deeper into the story, you'll find a symbolic meaning, not to take it literally. So they weren't really knocking the Bible in that sense. They were just telling you that this part of the Bible just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, then they probably did not know yet what it actually meant. Maybe that's just a quote. Uh, what they discovered so far, maybe what they didn't, what didn't make sense at that moment, right?
Well, the book of Genesis from the beginning doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah, according to the quotes, right?
No, even now when we read the book of Genesis, that's what you and Gabs was discussing earlier, right? So the reason why you're discussing it is because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, it's like what I read about this, the whole Genesis account, right? I just gave you the is that people nowadays they don't not they cannot really fully tell with 100% assurement when it was written, for example. I mean, then at the same might count for the whole, you know, the account of the snake talking to Eve. The reference that they gave to me, for example, what I've read is that the possibilities, because I looked that up as well, and that was like they compare it like a puppet master could trick somebody. That's how Satan could trick Eve, making her believe that the actually the snake speak to her. I mean, uh, that's the comparison that I've read. That's what made that it made the snake talk, right? Drawing conclusion as far as it could be making sense, like using your your the way to reason, but it doesn't make it doesn't say in the Bible exactly that why the snake was talking, um, how it could be making sense. It just references. I hope it don't confuse you with
Well,
my explanation.
that's what the early church fathers were talking about, right? I mean, I could bring up my screen, but my computer's acting up a bit funny. But that's what they were talking about, because in the book of
Yeah, that's right. Right, that's right. Okay. But among them, there were also people that were pretty much against it, actually, right? I'm not saying that all them church fathers were against what the Bible was teaching, but they were under pressure uh, of what they. I've read that at a certain moment they have to sign, even it was against the will, what Constantine wanted the religion to be at a certain moment.
well, like I said, that was the Christian creation story. And when the people in the first, second, third centuries was looking at the story and they gave their objections against the story, is because other societies had creation stories from before. And the creation stories that the Christians have just didn't make any sense, such as the sons of God coming down. So when we ask you, who are the sons of God? Anyone, you're giving us 10 different stories. You're giving us 10 different stories because it doesn't make sense. And then what you do, you're adding on to your own. You now start speaking for God. You're like, maybe they were this. It's not clear. And that's what the church fathers were saying. It doesn't make any sense because in the book of Genesis, you have 3 creation stories. And when they were written in their tongue, there were 3 different creation stories. So how does that make any sense? Like, why would Moses write 3 different creation stories?
So Moses wrote 3 different creation
Well,
stories.
that's what's in Torah, right? There's a time when God created everything and he said, and the day and the night was good. And then in the next minute, he created the sun. So how did he know the day and the night was good if the sun wasn't here?
sorry. I don't know if it was me where you were cutting out for a bit. Can you repeat that, please?
I said there's a part in the Bible. You know what? Let me just show you, right?
Yeah,
Let me just
go
show
ahead.
let me
Uh,
just my
uh,
screen.
Brother Rich, when you're there, yeah, can you please go to Genesis 3 because I wanted to also answer show Kelly the bit in the Bible where I'm telling him that it was Adam's punishment to return to the dust and not Eve.
Yeah, go. Yeah,
Okay, I'm showing him something on our slide here first, Gabs, yeah? And then I'll look that up for you, yeah? Genesis 3, you said, yeah?
Yeah, after when you're done.
Okay, cool. This is what I was showing you from Origin's work. Can you see it, Kellyanne?
yeah. Maybe. Yeah, I can see it. Maybe if you're able, can you zoom a little bit in?
Uh,
Just a little. If it's possible, it's probably it's okay. By the way. Yeah, that's fine. It's pretty. That's fine. It's just fine.
okay. So it says, sometimes Origin denies the literal meaning. For example, he says, could any man of sound judgment suppose that the first, second, and third day of creation had an evening and a morning when there was yet no sun or moon or stars? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, is it according to what Genesis said? There was no day or night or
when you
something.
read the Bible, because you're reading it and reading past it, you don't really see that all of these things that God was doing, there was yet no moon, no sun, and no star. So how did he know day from night if there were no sun and no moon?
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
This is what the
Yeah.
early church father was talking about. Then he went on to say, had no even a morning, yet there was no sun, moon, and star. Could anyone be so unintelligent as to think that God made a paradise somewhere in the east and planted a tree, like a farmer, or in that paradise he put a tree of life, a tree you could see and know with your senses, a tree you can derive life from by eating its fruits with the teeth in your head. When the Bible says that God used to walk in paradise in the evening, or that had hid behind a tree, no one, I think, will question that these are only fiction, stories of things that never actually happen, and that figuratively they refer to certain mysteries. It is the same with the New Testament text, which says that Satan took Jesus up on a high mountain from which he could see
Yeah, I
the
know.
kingdom of earth. So for the
Yeah.
impossible and its symbolic interpretation. That was the early
Yeah.
church father. So what he's saying
Well,
is the things that
yeah.
you're talking about now with Gabs, you're taking them literally. That's what he's saying. He wasn't going against the Bible. He's just saying, how do you explain when God said, and the day and the night was good, and there was no sun and no moon? How would you explain that?
So that's what he was just questioning. But who was this guy? What was
How
this
would
guy's
you
name?
explain that now? How would you explain that now?
You're talking about the moon and stars now, right?
Yeah, when God was talking about what He'd done in earth, there was no sun, moon, or star, because that was
Mhm.
on the fourth day. So how did He know day from night if there was no sun and no moon?
Is there no sun and moon? How do they know day from light? Well, I have to. I'm sorry. I don't want to make stuff up, right? So I have to draw a conclusion that if you look into galaxy, there are more, elements in galaxy.
This is what I was talking about earlier. You see, if you don't know something, I would rather you just say you don't know, because now you're going to explain it. And like what the sister said to you earlier, you're going down a slippery road.
You have to do it. You have to use your common sense sometimes, but you shouldn't just act like what I say is true. You have to ponder about this. What is a conclusion? But that's
But shouldn't you use references?
Mhm.
Shouldn't you give me some references, even the Bible, as a source?
uh, I just react to what you gave as a resource, right? You said something about how can God know the difference between the moon and the stars when I'm trying to react on that, but I just trying to react, trying to make sense, and although I have to think about this, it's like he already there were other things like moons and stars before he made the moon and stars in all galaxy, for example. Like, does that make sense? Maybe I don't know, because he was like the beginning of all.
Yeah, but you're
And
missing the point, Kelly. You're missing the point. Because what you're doing now, it's called pseudo. You're just kind of making stuff up. Because
yeah,
when,
but that's okay. I'm honest, right? I already said like I could make stuff up.
I understand. But I'm saying when you read the Bible, if there
Mm.
was no day and if there was no sun or no moon or no stars, how did God know that the night was good and the day was good if there were none of these things created? How did he know that?
Ah, I see what you mean. That's like if they weren't there, how could they call it day and night? Is
That's
that what
correct.
you're trying to
That,
say?
that's what point.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's right. How would I? I would say like, how would the ones who wrote this account in the first place? How did they wrote it there?
Well, this is
What
the
was
whole
the?
point, you see, because Moses wrote the book, right? But if Moses wrote the book, then why didn't it make sense to them? Because they're like it doesn't make any sense.
Oh.
This is a
This is a good one, Rich, because I cannot really criticize by somebody that probably did very thoroughly study about this, right? This guy you already put in the, you know, who was it actually? Was
that
this
was
church?
that was that was origin.
Origin?
Yeah,
That's his name.
yeah, origin.
Origin. Can
He,
can you give the name
he has
again?
another name, but I just call him Origin. His book's called Cultural Celsus.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because he was going up against the so-called pagans. That would probably be like me and Gabs. So,
Uh,
so he was defending the church writing, but even though he was defending the church writing, he still couldn't make sense of what was written because it didn't make sense to him. Even when he said to you, the devil took Jesus up on a high mountain and said, "Throw yourself up."
yeah, I know. You talked about it. Okay,
These things are they're mythologies. They're not real.
I want to get back to this. Just okay. Let's go to Genesis 3. I want to know more
Yeah,
about you.
that's Gabs. If Gabs is there, I'll just Gabs. Gabs, you there?
Debs, you here?
Yo, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, Genesis 3 for you
Yeah.
then, man.
Oh, you got it there, yeah. Can you scroll down a bit for me, please? Just keep scrolling. I'll tell you when to stop. Um, keep going, keep going. Okay, so stop there. So as you can see, this is the part of the Bible here when obviously God is cursing the woman and Satan. So if you keep going down, just go down to 17, start from 17. Yeah. And it says what? So it says, and to Adam, he said. So this is directly to Adam, yeah? Because you have listened
Mhm.
to his wife. So this is how you know that he's definitely talking to Adam, because he's talking about his wife. He said, because you have listened to your wife and ate the fruit from the tree um, about which I commanded you. Oh, what happened?
The soil became cursed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Curse now. So this is his curse. So it's cursed is the ground because you have cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat from it, and all the days of your life it will produce thorns and thistle for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. Yeah, sweat and all the stuff. Keep going down to 20.
Mhm.
Oh, no. 19, 19. Sorry, 19, 19. And it says, so carry on with this. So 19 is, by the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return. Yeah?
So,
See?
yeah.
So this is already showing you this is God now talking to Adam. This is Adam's curse. So Adam's curse was to return to dust, not Eve. Do you understand? So then my question
I
is,
understand.
so then my
Yeah,
question,
yeah,
what happened to Eve?
yeah. I already tried to answer you, but I don't know if what the answer I gave made sense because you're still bringing this up, man.
What? Did you answer it? Well, what did you say? Maybe I didn't get your answer. What did you say?
Well, can you still remember what kind of answer I gave so I can elaborate a little bit, maybe?
I don't know if you gave an answer on that.
I actually trying to. Oh man, that might be so confusing to you people, man.
I think you said. I think you said. Did you say something like because when he's talking of Adam, because Adam's the head or something, the
Yeah.
punishment is for him that encompasses all of them.
Yeah. Does that make sense in a sense, or
Nah, that doesn't make no sense. But the reason why it doesn't make sense, and this is also what the brother Rich was saying, is that you then start adding in things. You start adding in things and giving your opinion on things that's not really on there. Because
okay, okay,
when you
okay, okay.
read the scripture, when you just read what I was just reading, you can clearly see
Mm,
this was Adam's curse, and it to show that it was
mm,
onto Adam. He's
mm,
God clearly said, because you had listened to your wife. So you can
mm.
clearly see that he's talking to Adam the man, not as in both of them. So Adam's curse was to return to the dust. So if Adam was the one that was meant to return to the dust, what happened to Eve?
Yeah, yeah, okay. I understand. Yeah, I understand that this is actually specifically to Adam now.
Yeah,
Uh, and this what I said that could be just made up by myself, or what I've actually read about it, because I also asked this question, and I thought it was a logical conclusion to me that if Adam was the one that is responsible for his family, that yeah, it could infect everybody, because he didn't take his responsibility, and didn't correct Eve, right? But yeah, it's a hard one though, because then you would say that I cannot accept this because I cannot find this back in the scripture, and I want only accept something that can find back in the scripture. Outside of that, it's not accepted, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard one because
Yeah, that's why it's tough. That's why I said when you look at the scripture and you see these things, yes, it is hard to explain. And this is why you
I
have a,
do. Yeah, I got your point totally.
for a lot of pastors, a lot of people that then start adding in their own, or maybe possibly, oh, it could mean this, and oh, what it means is this. But then when you read the scriptures, it don't actually say.
Yeah. I do agree with you, Gaps, totally,
Look,
man.
the reason why I do that, because it's basically the same thing with regards to people when people say that the devil is the serpent. Do you know what I mean? I'm basically showing
Mm,
things. So in the scripture, it doesn't really say that. You curse the animal, and that's that. But then people still, people out here, or loads of Christians out here, believe that the serpent is Satan for some reason, like Lucifer. But when you
mm.
actually read the actual Genesis and the text, it doesn't say that.
Yeah, that's true. You're
And
right. You're right.
people will say, "Oh, Satan took Satan's spirit went into the serpent." But then I'll ask people, where does it say that? And it doesn't say that in Genesis. Did it say in Genesis, oh well, Satan now possessed this so-called serpent? But then if people do that, you'd have to think, what? Why would God now curse? Why would God curse all this? Why would God now curse the serpent for something that he has no control over? Because if it is being possessed, yeah, by someone, some another entity that doesn't know what it's doing, why would you now curse that animal? Because it doesn't know what it's doing. It has no control. So,
Jeez, hey, your family. You know, I actually wanted
Yeah.
to shut down the show, but it seems as though that you don't want the show to continue, right?
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, I'm here, ready to drop some sauce.
Hmm?
I'm there. I'm just getting into the little bit of the juice.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right, so can I get the family members, yeah, to hit up the like button? Let's get to at least 30 likes. That's so much to ask. 30 likes. 30 likes. If there's 80 of you guys here and you want the show to continue, to the early hours of the morning, please hit up the like button, show your love and support, because I'm pretty sure Gabs and, Nine Ether and Kelly Arm and Rich Kid, they could be doing, different things. All right. They could be doing quite different things right now, but they're only here showing you guys the love by dropping some powerful information to you guys. So please hit up the like button, show that you're here and you're supporting us as well. Give thanks to I Am for the donation, please, King. Oh, Sugar, sorry. I apologize. I haven't been looking at the screen. So yeah, I am. Oh, Sugar, you actually dropped a message. So let me just share the screen. So salute to brother I am. Okay. It says here, I appreciate the powerful information the brothers Kalam and Gabs bring on religion and culture. We all should super chat these brothers at least $1 for the research alone. Excellent panel. Oh man. Give thanks, I've always got my queen Hawaya just looking out for you guys. So salute to my queen, right? That's the right-hand lady right there. That's the first lady. All right, so shouts out to Hawaya for supporting us and making sure you guys as audience members are feeling the love as well. Trolley McTrollface says, Prophet Kalam, always full with wise words of wisdom. Oh man, yeah, buddy. All right, so yeah, family, I'm gonna let the show continue. I think I'm gonna, go and do a little bit of juju for a hot minute. All right, so bear with me. Don't mind it, okay? I will be catching most of you guys in your sleeps tonight, right? When you guys are dreaming, I'm gonna have a little visitation, right? So when I have a visitation tomorrow or the next day, please let me know, all right, that you saw me in your dreams. And a few of you guys, I've already visited a few of you guys before, but I'm gonna do a little bit more, some visitation.
Well, I know you can't pass my psychic defense now.
Boy, how much money you want to bet on that, right? Guaranteed. 222, all right? 222, I'll be with you. No problem, 222. All right, family. I'll catch you guys in a hot minute.
Yo, Kalam, so where's this live stream, man? I cannot find it anywhere. I see you streaming, but
the live stream. Simply, let me just give you the title of the show. And it's right about here. Mad Ting Information Overload. I'm pretty sure all you have to do is Titans TV. Let's see if it'll come up straight away. Yeah, there you go. It's even got your imagery straight away. Mad Ting Titans TV.
Oh man, all right. I got it. Thanks.
All right. Jeez. What you know about that one? That show was a bangers. What do you know about exposing comedic rituals? Ooh. If you lot missed that show was popping. Anyways, that's it. Let me come out of this. Let me make sure I share the link with you guys as well, so you guys can have people to join you. If I can get my queen Hawaya to just, routinely post this up to the family who would like to jump in. That's the link. All right. Please do feel free to jump in. All right. Cool.
Okay. I'd like to continue. I just wanted to add, a little towards gaps. You know what it is, gaps. I'm totally agreeing you that it has to be so much grounded on what everything that's been said from the Bible. However, it also has due to prophecies to see how God's spirit works. It actually comes a lot to believe that if there's a God, he's not dead. He's a living God that has plans with us people and wants us to go to a certain direction. This is something that takes a little study, and you could be stuck on a lot of details that said, no, this is incorrect. I don't believe it. That's totally fine. All right. And what I wanted to say towards Rich Kid is that I hope you can bring up this guy's name, and I want to do more investigation about it, because I do believe that the guy, what he's saying is true also. But it also be if those are part of the church fathers, right? They could be at one moment, be at the moment that they were in, saying a lot of true stuff. But it's also in a time that actually, they were pretty much under pressure, and they had to make decisions according to Constantine, and they had to add some philosophies to it, and it actually went totally. It wasn't a time that it made a total different turn. What the Bible is supposed to teach the people. So I don't know much.
If you can see on my screen, can you see on my screen at the moment?
Yeah.
Those are some of the early church fathers. Just some of them that I can give you.
Okay. I'm gonna write them down because I want to know more about it. Okay. Origin. Ah, this is the origin, right? This is the man.
Clements of Alexander, Origen, Augustine, Ephraim, Basil of Caesarea, and Ambrose of Milan, plus Irenaeus. I could give you more, but I was just kind of doing a lecture on these kind of church fathers here. But let me show you something here. Can you see where it says here in Genesis that God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, and God saw that the light, that it was good, and good divided the light from the darkness. Can you see that?
Yeah.
God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. When we go down here, it says, "Then God said, let there be lights in the firmament to divide the day from the night." Can you see that?
God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from night." Yeah.
Okay, but he already did that up here, correct? Can you see it?
Okay, that's a nice one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Let me
This is
compare
what the church father was saying.
Yeah. All right. Nice, nice, nice. Okay.
So what he was saying, this doesn't make no sense. So when you look at modern scholars, they will tell you that there's 3 creation stories in the beginning of Genesis.
Hmm. Oh, that's the 3 creation stories according to this account.
That's correct.
Okay. Nice. That's an interesting one, Rich. Thank you.
No worries.
What would I say? I don't know. You and Rich, are you and Gab sometimes go study together this stuff, or do you do it
Gabs
on
is
your own?
Gabs is a pagan.
What?
Gabs is a pagan.
You let me hear it say that.
No, I'm joking. You know, I'm joking.
No, you don't. You don't. Hear
No,
me
we
say
don't.
that.
We don't study together still, but we kind of read the same books and kind
Okay.
of the same like mind. So
Same mindset, you know, the same mind. No
Yeah.
great think alike. That's that saying there, man.
yeah,
So okay. So yeah. So most of the time you're very, uh, yeah. You pretty much agree with each other, right? What you teach each other.
well, we
Okay.
don't teach each other. I wouldn't say we teach each other. Gabs has his own mind, and I have mine.
Also, like okay, I got you. Well, you like somebody that also to go there and tell people about this, or do you let people come to you?
If people are interested in knowledge, the student normally finds a teacher. So we don't have to go out there like religious people and go, if you don't do this, you're going to go to hell, and if you don't do this, Allah's going to. We don't have to do that.
Okay.
We're comfortable in our philosophy. So
Okay, that does it count for you the same, Gaps? Is that for you? Is that also for you the same case?
Say, yeah, kind of the same case. Yeah, I don't go around evangelizing people. There's more and more time I just share the information. When I used to go speakers corner, I used to go down there and share some information, and whoever listen. And most of the time, it's just people coming and asking questions.
All right. I see. Yeah.
Then I'll answer them. We'll have a discourse. But other than that, I don't force myself on people.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. As you know, right? I'm a student of the Bible from Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't really possess all the knowledge, but I would like to suggest you to have a talk with them. You know, I think it would be very interesting about
Jehovah. When I go to the British Museum, I think I went there in 2010. I saw some Jehovah Witness standing by the one of the pillars of dedicated to one of the pharaohs, and he was comparing the Bible. He had his like students there, and he was comparing the Bible to Egypt, and he's showing them the artifacts, and he's going, "This is why God hated the Egyptians, because they were evil," and blah blah blah. And this is what they were teaching them, crossing it with their Bible. So sometimes when people hear us go at the Bible, these are the same reasons why we do it, because nobody goes and correct them when they say our ancestors were pagans. And we have to stand up here and defend their science.
Yeah. So you have already had an encounter with them, Rich?
Many times, of course.
Many times.
Many
I
times.
see. Oh.
So you see, the thing is, you're going around saying this about, not you per se, most Christians about Egypt, and you find the same thing in Islam. They knock African science, but then when you go back to their book, your book comes from the same place. So if you're calling us pagans, then you must be pagans because you got that literature from us. This is the whole point. And if they haven't,
Yeah,
prove it.
yeah. I understand, Rich. I understand. I just, I actually, we can go on for a long time, but I have not much to add, actually, to be honest. The only thing I wanted to say is that what I've read through the Bible, I've came to a lot of the stuff what you were saying. But the more important to me is that God as a person, he doesn't look just because you are a pagan or whatever. He's not there to exterminate people. He wants to save them. He wants to look at you as one of his sons, like he cares. That's why he made.
Well, according to the literature, he exterminated the Egyptians, correct? And then he went down
Yeah,
to the Midianites and told Moses to kill man, woman, and child. That's the God of the Bible. The God
yeah.
of the Bible has killed more people than the devil.
You have to understand the same God also adopted people from Egypt as the sons when they were, for example, going through they had to walk through the Red Sea. There were people, what I've read that a while ago, right? So I have to, if you want to ask me the reference, it take me time to get back. But I just want to say that even they uh, that fled with the Israelites, there were Egyptian people among them. It doesn't mean that God is like a racist or something. He looks at everybody equal. But if there are people that choose to be against him, yeah, it's their choice.
Why did
You
the
know,
Israelites? Why did the Israelites go into Egypt? What was the purpose of them going in there?
I think the purpose. I think it has to
According
trace
to
back
your
to
Bible,
Jacob. Back to Jacob. That they were like what's the word? They were like at the moment there was a poverty or his
oh, you
son.
mean famine? Famine.
Hmm?
It was famine. Is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah, they had no food. There was a food shortage,
Let me answer your
and
question. There was a food shortage, so they came into Egypt. But when they left out of Egypt and went into the wilderness for 40 years, wandering
mhm.
around, did God send down bread from heaven for 40 years?
Yeah, manna. You mean manna?
Yeah, and bread.
Bread. I don't know about the bread.
Yeah, he sent down bread. You can ask Gabs to clarify that. Are you there,
Okay,
Gabs?
okay. I will look that up. I know about the ravens though. They were sending or he made birds fall from the sky so
He
they
made he
could
made
eat.
bread and manna. So bread was actually coming down from the sky, like bread, to feed them. So my question is this: why would you send them into Egypt when there was only 70 of them, when you could have fed them, but you said there was a famine, so you're going to send them into another land, and then you took them out of that land and fed them for 40 years in the wilderness? Does that make sense?
Oh wow, that's a good one. But you speak about a age difference or not? It's like at that moment maybe the situation was different, or does that not is that not valid to you?
Are you saying that God was different?
No, not God, but maybe according to the situation.
Well, there's
Where
only 72 of them at the time, so he could have rained bread down from heaven, correct? He
you're
didn't have
right.
to. He didn't have to send them into Egypt. If there was a famine, he could have fed them. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But he sent them in there because there was a famine, and then when he took them out of there, he fed them in the wilderness for 40 years.
Okay, okay. I I I think that the conclusion I come to is that because we send them to Egypt, is that God is pretty what's the word? He's not always using it at all moments. It's like if people are capable to do what's in the power to do, he will bless the efforts when there's no, for example, no possibility anymore for them to get anything. Then God is there to do something for the people because there's no way out for them. Like when you're in the middle of the wilderness, there's no way to get food. When there's, for example, a city in a neighborhood, yeah, he shows you that you have to use your effort to get your stuff. It's like when for example God opened the Red Sea, he didn't put the people over at the at the other side by themselves. Actually were they needed to walk over the Red Sea themselves. He didn't put them as a group on the other side. For example, that could be the same conclusion, isn't it?
Well, it shows you that God is limited in his power, correct?
No, he make use. He make limited use sometimes. Is that he do that on purpose?
Well, it doesn't make sense, because if there's famine in the land and the Egyptians had food and the people that was moving with God who created the universe, they didn't have food. How does that make sense?
Say again, please. I'm sorry, man.
God sent the Israelites into Egypt because they didn't have any food, correct?
Yeah.
But this is the God of the universe, right?
Yeah.
So they sent his children into Egypt, which had food.
He said, yeah, they had food. Yeah, they had, yeah.
Right. So I'm saying it doesn't matter where they are. God could have fed them instead of sending them into Egypt, correct?
He could offend them. I hope what I tried to say was that kind of sense I wanted to add to it. But
Yeah.
go ahead, Richard. Go ahead. I don't want to distort your story. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just saying it doesn't make sense, because he sent them in there to be fed. Then when he took them out and left them in the wilderness for 40 years, as your Bible says, he was feeding them for 40 years, correct?
Yeah.
So why send them in Egypt in the first place when there was only 72 of them? And now you're dealing with a multitude.
Yeah, I think because this was within the reach at the moment.
No, well, let me tell you why that happened. Because someone who wrote your literature is trying to interwoven their history into historical history. That's why you have to go. Every one of those people in your Bible have visited Egypt at some point or another. And even when the Egyptians were so wicked, even when Jesus was born, where did God say to take him? Right back into Egypt. And when he was ready for him, he said, out of Egypt, I call my son.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah, he had to go to Egypt because he had to hide.
That's right. So why send them back there? I mean, weren't they wicked and pagans? Why send your son back into Egypt? I mean, there's many places around.
Yeah, you're right.
You just drowned the Egyptians, all of their ancestors in the sea. Now here Jesus is born, and Herod is looking for the son, and God goes, take him back into Egypt. How does that? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know what to answer, Rich. I hope I trying to answer you, but it's like we pass each other with your narrative. We pass each other's or get beyond each other's, man.
The reason why he had to go back into Egypt, because Egypt at the time was kind of the only place of learning. It was one of the richest places even then. So to come out of that place shows that you have some form of education.
I'm not denying that Egypt is a place of education, sure. Yeah, that's true. For example, I also learned that Moses got his education from Egypt, for sure. But I think Gaps was on the panel as well, where I told that how God dealt, for example, with Moses when he had to go to Midian, is that he had to learn, for example, to become humble, and he became a sheep herder and take care of sheep, even though he had knowledge. It's like we believe that, for example, knowledge puffs up, love builds up. In that sense, it's pretty much added how God dealt, for example, with Moses when he had to be when he was in Midian, taking care of forms of life, and yeah, even though he had knowledge. So yeah, it's very much to be humble is very more important in that sense. But I think I think I do understand what you're saying there.
I mean, you're a very good Christian still, because you don't really fight facts. But the only thing I would say to you is that just don't try and make up your own stories, because, like the sister said, then you go down into a slippery road.
Yeah, I do agree with and some stuff to sort out what the exactly understanding is would take a long time sometimes.
Yeah,
Take a very long time, very long. You don't see them debates everywhere on YouTube so much for nothing. People are totally disagreeing with whatever, and but they just want to get to the essence of a lot, and it takes so much time. But people just use the time to get there. Also over here, it's
yeah, it's
yeah.
calls for a lot of studying and
But
stuff. So
Rich, until so far, thanks for accepting me the way I am, and know that we can have, from this one, we pretty much have an understanding of each other's. That's
yeah, I
actually
mean,
humble us that only makes it happen.
well,
If we
this is
weren't
it.
happy, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry, this is it. I mean, like I said, I have debates. We all love debates. It don't mean that I judge people based
Mhm.
on their faith. I judge people based on their heart and how they treat their fellow human. Are they a good people? It does. You don't need a book for that. This is the point we're making. Because many people
Right, right.
read books, and you can see half of them at Hyde Park. As soon as you say something and they get triggered, they're just like any people on the street. They're ready to kill you just because you're questioning their theology.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So
I heard that, and a lot of people that been misled, even though they think they follow the truth. If there's a moment they actually confronted by they don't want to do self research at the moment. Check yourself. Like I have to check myself. I have to be honest that I do not know everything. But if somebody refuses that, become aggressive, wants to kill somebody, then you're on the wrong road. To be honest, in my opinion as well. Yeah, that's not what Jesus taught. For example, he said that if somebody slaps you on the cheek, give him the other cheek, not going to give him a slap back, So, and also virtues, I do agree, is that the whole Bible actually is actually, there's only actually one or two laws that are the most important ones. That just the one is that you have to love God with your whole soul and mind and your whole attachment, and the second is to love your neighbor as yourself. Love people as you want to be treated yourself. Actually, those two things are the most important ones. That actually got a lot to do. That virtues is much more important than lip service, right?
that's
That's
correct.
what.
That's correct.
And
That's correct.
and this agreement, Rich. Even though you stand there, this agreement that we have, it is something universal.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And
they
that's
used to do this back in the days. It didn't mean that after that they became enemies and this and that. But once you start getting certain religious paradigm coming in, I mean, even with the Christian paradigm, when it
mm,
came in and they were in full power, people like me, I couldn't even speak the way I'm speaking today because I'd be killed.
yeah. I hear you.
So
Yeah.
most of the pagans, as they say, had to convert to Christianity. And even when they converted to Christianity, they still wasn't happy with the things that they were reading. So what they did, they interjected a lot of the Greek mythologies into the Bible. So sometimes a lot of
Mhm.
people hear me talk, I'm always saying to them, have you read Greek mythology? Have you read Plato's work? I would implore
Mm,
anyone to read Plato's work. If they don't want to read the whole book, you can read Plato's Republic, book 2 of 2, and
mhm.
see the things that they were discussing. Because the moment you start going back into those Greek stories, you'll start finding that many of these stories that we find in the Bible are analogous to the Greek stories. And this is where the problem arises.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also like these Greek stories are yeah, it's like these if there were Christians around that time that wanted to practice this really, probably they weren't Christians yet, but followers of the truth. They actually have to deal with the understandings that the Greeks gave them, and that's what pretty much added to the Bible narratives for people to understand. Um, right? That's what we were talking about. We also talked about that, right? So also about what you said about the zodiac signs and the Job, for example. This is one I wanted to ask. Is if that this is the thing I wanted to understand. I wanted to ask somebody. I already asked this to somebody of my congregation. The zodiac signs, for example, in Job, and I remember you said it was also for Greek mythology. And it's like, why is it in the Old Testament, not even in the New one? And I think it's like they already start mind buffling about that. It's like they said it was because of you know, it could make sense if that was a surrounding, because there wasn't Greek in the Old Testament, but it was because of the Septuagint, and that's why it's probably being put in there. But does that make sense to you, Rich? Because of the Septuagint?
Uh, I just know that a lot of the writers at the time, during the Hellenistic period, around the first, second century, the writers who were writing at the time, a lot of them never wrote about these stories that we read in your Bible, which I find, Philo, for instance, Eusebius, a lot of the early church fathers was using Joseph Flavius' work as their standard. So what the schools were teaching at the time, when they started to compile these books, when you see Paul going over and talking to the Greeks and talking about the rising and the dying God, it wasn't hard for them to convert, because they had those stories in Greek myths before. So it wasn't really like nothing new was being spoken. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's only now when we start looking at the literature itself, and you have to understand it's only literature, it's not historical. So once you start quoting from out of the book, you have to kind of provide evidence and show us where it matches up into history. And we find out that the Bible chronology doesn't fit with antiquity. It doesn't fit in the chronology at all. So you find truth in the Bible, poetry, good virtues and so forth, but the rest of it is just hula.
Yeah, it's a hard thing, and I do understand. I think I do understand, as far as in my understanding, where you stand. I also question this around. It's that it's what faith is not really much based too much on all factual knowledge. Um, that all the details we don't know yet is too much at all times. Even though we have to know accurate knowledge, is not that we have to blind ourselves. We have to keep looking what's true. It could be relying on science, could be relying on everything. As long as you get the new light about what is being written, to be added, that we can have a better understanding what was meant. And I have to agree that even scientists do not know everything yet. Who knows everything? Nobody. But it's an investigation, and what the things that are reliable in the Bible, for example, and which are trustworthy. That's what we actually put our faith in. That I mean, the Bible still survived for all these years, and actually that speaks for itself towards us.
Well, you know what? We go through errors, don't we? We go through, like, when you look at Piscean era, right? When Jesus came in the era of Pisces, correct?
He came to what area? I'm sorry.
He came in the Pisces era, correct?
Pisces area.
Pisces era.
Can you explain that?
We have the.
Can you explain?
We go through the constellations, and we will go through, like, Pisces, and now they say we're in Aquarius. You ever heard of that?
Oh, okay. That's according to a zodiac sign?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when Jesus came, he came in the Piscean era, correct? That's why Jesus' story is full of fish, because the fish represents Pisces, correct?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I heard it. Yeah.
And then when he had his last supper, according to the scriptures, and his disciples said, "When shall we see you again?" What did he say to them? He said, "Go outside, and when you see a man carrying water on his shoulder, that's when you will see the Son of Man return." Correct?
Okay.
So what's the symbol for Aquarius? It's a man carrying a bucket of water, correct? There you go. So what he's talking about is Christ consciousness. Because the information is so vast today, a lot of people ain't just taking the stories. as those religions, with that old religions, because we're moving out of that era. So a lot of the things that religious people are purporting, science are already catching up with them and showing them that these things are lies. For instance, when you mentioned the Red Sea being parted, there's no evidence for it. For such a story, there is no evidence for it at all, apart from the literature that you're reading. So we can't class it as historical because we're only reading it in the literature. And when we look in the Egyptian archives, we don't see those stories in there. So what am I supposed to do?
I understand. I don't know if you were there, Rich. When, for example, somebody asked, for example, how to explain that the people came from dust to the earth.
Yeah.
And I read this also from a passage that how it could be proven that people could be made from dust in the earth. But even if I read this, people would still disagree. It's like, okay, well, you don't have to disagree with everything because I agree with everything because it's still an investigation. Till so far, there's like, for example, that the dust that people have made for like several basic minerals for like I think it was what was it?
Amino acid
Yeah,
molecules.